Good evening. Last month, a lot of us have had a lot of time, so much time as never before, some sort of constant holiday. We have time to simply be. We don't have to work. We don't have to buy a lot of stuff or take care of a lot of stuff. We have time for ourselves, for our families, for our partner, for our children. Wonderful, all the things we wanted to do and never did. Now we can do them. It is simple. If the course wouldn't be so sad, it would simply be a present. Time for leisure, time for myself, time to do things without being stressed, without inner pressure, without agitation. All that breaks away. Time for the partner to talk to each other and really feel that we are a couple, not only going to work, to go back in the evening to eat, take care for the children, watch TV, but really have time for each other, time for the children, go for a walk, to play with them, to listen to them. Finally, time. Sounds like paradise. If the course wouldn't be so sad, the coronavirus. What sounds like paradise is not always paradise. Even in good relationships, if you are together constantly, without distraction, there is no pressure on the free time, you are together. Really, you can't escape to the cinema, to the theater, to the sauna. You are really there, present. And it happens that you start to argue. That's normal and it's understandable. And then the children are loud too, even though you love them. But when our relationship is not that good, when we fight once and again or almost don't speak to each other and are together for weeks or months in a small flat, and the children are there and are loud, that's not paradise anymore. That is a stress test, for an endurance test for a lot of relationships. I read in a newspaper that domestic violence, children abuse of women is increasing. That means I hope that those who listen don't have that problem. But I want to talk about stress and anger. I want to take care of that. I want to talk about that because I talk about beginning anew. The Buddha says in his first teaching, he talks about suffering. The first noble truth, there is suffering. And then he says, he says the causes, that's old age, sickness and death. But to be separate from those we love and to be together with those we don't love, those truths belong to that too, and we experience this truth That's the reason why I want to talk about how to deal with anger. That's the basis. Later on I will talk about beginning anew, but now I want to talk about anger. When we fight, because we are not in one mind or don't agree on something, like what the children should do. The children want something, father says yes, mother says no, or what we should do with the money. We want to spend money, we want to have something, and the partner says no, we need the money for I don't know what, maybe a bigger expense, whatever. We are very quick. We are equal in what, and very quick and very quickly ready to fight on some things. And the more we are under pressure because we can't do what we want to do, maybe we have also financial pressure, or we worry about our workplace and much more, and we are even quicker to start fighting. When we quarrel, it is not important what the best is for the child, or how to spend the money in the best way. That's not what it is about. It is just about winning and not let the other person win, and to show the other one that he hurt us, or to even want revenge, or to just be aggressive and let the anger out. When we are angry, one part of our brain, the amygdala, is very active, and other parts of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, is shutting down, the thinking is shutting down, and the amygdala is active and is for anger and fear. Our digestive system is shutting down too. Our whole body changes. There is a change. Sometimes I mix English and German. And then the most important thing is that the amygdala gets strong and the thinking will shut down. We will be made ready to fight now. Now it is the time. I have to fight and I have to win. We human beings, we are not from the 21st century. We come from times where we had to fight physically and our life depended on it. And that's why we have these reactions to help us survive. When we fight with our partner about education or money, we don't need this investment. But when we are really angry, the amygdala is active. The feelings, the aggressive feelings are dominating our thinking and acting. And if somebody comes who is not involved in the fight and says, "Oh, come on, stop it," we are not open for reasonable arguments. We say, get off, or keep out of it, or leave me be. We don't say, "Oh yes, you're right." Maybe if somebody is really, really close to us and who puts his hand on our shoulder in a loving way, maybe we say, "Oh yes, I can find back to myself." But No, often we are really caught in that anger. Nobody can help us. Only we ourselves can help us. When we are angry, it is good to have our praxis, which says us, when I'm angry, maybe I can't really breathe. It's too difficult. I can step one step back and can say, oh, there is anger. Oh, I am angry. And then we are not caught in this thinking of anger, feeling of anger, but we stepped out of it. And this is moment we can use. Oh, I want to get out of that fight. And we can bow friendly or whatever we do at home and say, it is too narrow for me now, it's too close. Oh, we start to fight. Let's talk when we have calmed down. I have to calm down, whatever we say, and however way we want to say it. That's helpful. That we get completely out of the situation, and if not possible, stop talking. But at home, it should be possible to step out of the. Maybe with a boss, you can't do this, but then maybe you go for a walk, or if walking meditation is too difficult. And it's not about, oh, walking meditation, I'm holy now, I have to walk holy, but anger, I'm here for you. It's okay to be angry. To be respectful with anger, but to let her be. If you fight it, it will become stronger. Or go for a walk, go quickly, and at the end of the walk, maybe you can slow down and walk slowly. Or sit down and let the anger come. I want to say to him, and he has said to me, all the things that run around my head, just let them be, but don't go into it. Don't feed the fire. But say, oh, it's okay. It's okay to be angry. I have just to take care of it. If we are angry, when we are angry, then we think, the other one, this one, he is the guilty one. He hurt me so much that I'm angry now. When we talk to somebody else, you say, don't you see, the other one hurt me. And maybe we ask some people and they always say, you are right, but the other person, the people around them say you are right too. And if we are aware of the fact that the person we fought with has hurt us, we don't need to go into anger, but we just can feel the feelings. What is there? Disappointment, jealousy, fear of being left, envy, feeling to be laughed at, whatever. What happened within me? But because the anger is rising quickly, we can calm down the anger. We can write in our diary, can walk meditation, or we can make sit meditation, and we can look at it. What's this about? What feeling has been touched so deeply that I'm in pain? Why did I become angry? And after that, when the anger has calmed down, oh, oh, I was jealous, or oh, I feel insecure. Das made me insecure. It frightened me. I felt rejected. I felt not being seen. Whatever we feel, when we know that, we can embrace our feelings and we can heal them a little bit to calm down the anger. If possible, at the moment we realize we are angry, stop talking, leave the room, calm down, and then what is beneath the anger? Anger covers a feeling. So if we find that, we are healing, and we do heal something in our star consciousness. And then we don't feel the pain at the same point every time, because these are our habits. And when I do the same and the same and the same again, when I'm insecure, when somebody else says something that touches the seed, maybe then I can say, oh, I feel insecure now. I don't have to go into the anger or into the fight. I know this is my feeling. This is my thing of feeling rejected. I think the other is the cause of my anger, but the other person has touched a seed which is already in my store consciousness, and I can take care of that seed. There is no sense in becoming angry. There is no sense in pointing out the other is the cause of my pain. I can take care. The Buddha says, if somebody puts fire on a house, but don't run after the person, but take care of your burning house. This is a sentence of the Buddha which I quote the most. It is so important when we are living together not to blame the other person, but to see, oh, this causes me pain and I take care of myself. I know that needs long training for many years. In the beginning, I fought it. I thought, if I have to take care, as if I would be to blame, I could not understand. In the first beginning, when Thai came, I thought, if you have a broken... So I thought, if somebody is kicking my leg, and somebody says, yes, you have a seed of pain in your leg, that's how I felt about it. So my leg is painful because it has a seed of pain, not the other one is to blame. But I sat with it, and I realized if I have a pain in my leg, maybe I have some injury, and somebody kicks me against this injury, it hurts. If I have an open wound or a broken leg, it's really, really painful. It's painful even though no other person is coming close to us, because we know it's painful. Whatever we have in our consciousness as seeds, some have seeds of being belittled when they were children. Some felt rejected in childhood. Another one was jealous in childhood. He had a lot of causes to be jealous or to feel insecure, whatever. All the seeds are in our consciousness. but not all the seeds have been touched in the same way. The one blows up with one seed, the other with another seed. This is really important to me, so I wanted to talk about this, because talking about beginning anew, because a lot of families are under pressure. So it's good to look at it and to see what is within me. It takes time, but we can be sure, if we repeat and repeat it, that we slowly can trust our praxis. If we can't do this while fighting, we can do it after, in the evening or at the weekend, and then let the fight come up again, and the situation has gone already, and the anger is not that strong. So then we can take care later and just hold our anger with love. And the pain, the jealousy, the fear, to hold it lovingly afterwards. It is easier to do it afterwards than if we are in the situation. And then we can this ability and this consciousness, this is my seed of fear or insecurity, or for being betrayed. And when we train this, when we exercise this, I can feel it more and more, and then later on I can feel it while talking. I'm realizing it while talking. I'm realizing it earlier, but it comes with time. Dear brother, can I have a bell? I want to go now into the beginning anew. It's not only about taking care of our feelings, but if we talk without taking care of our feelings, it's easy to come into a fight. We advise our retreatants that once in a week and practice beginning anew at home, or every 2 weeks, but we shouldn't wait any longer. I know that some families are doing it once a month. Then the couple may be alone, only the two of them. But when we have children, the children should be included in beginning anew. Afterwards, the adults can do another beginning anew. Children love beginning anew. They feel accepted, they feel seen, they feel seen in their worth. So we should really practice it with children, couples which had a negative relationship for years and years and fought a lot and didn't talk to each other, often said, a lot of these couples, that they found each other again with beginning anew. Beginning anew is a part of the praxis, and they got to know other parts of the praxis, but it is an important part which we can give the families. It's nothing else than communication, but we don't say talk to each other, but talk to each other in a way. So we try to give support that the talking to each other is full of respect. Beginning anew is to help us to live together in a good way. Sometimes there are also couples who separate, even though they try to stay together. And they use beginning anew to help part as friends, or also in regard of the children, so that they can be in a good way together and talk about the children, or to stay some hours or a day together with the children, spend some time with the children, and not say, oh no, that is not my friend any longer, I don't talk to him anymore. When we have fought a lot, or have not talked to each other at all, it is important that we don't do all 4 steps of beginning anew, but only the first step, to see the positive side. If we have fought for a long time and didn't talk to each other for a long time, and then start to talk about difficulties, the fight will come back. But when we talk at least for half a year only about the positive seeds in our relationship, to really strengthen the good sides, the positive sides, and even if that we can talk to each other, to start with the positive, and you have to stop if it starts to become negative, or the positive and the second part. But now I want to talk about the 4 parts. The first is appreciation, thankfulness. To express appreciation and thankfulness, we look at what the other did do for us in the last week, and to thank the person. It has been beautiful, it has been helpful that you took over washing the clothes or washing the dishes when I couldn't do that, and you realized that, and you realized I was under pressure, and you took over. Well, last week on Tuesday I had a headache, you took the children and went out, so I had some rest. And this can be really small things, but the other person feels being seen, and feels accepted. Otherwise, maybe the partner takes everything for granted, and then bitterness arises. When we thank a person and see what he does, and we express how we appreciate what he does, then we help our relationships. And the same with the things we see in the other person. Maybe we only see maybe there is a character part the other person always has. And maybe I had some issues, and the other one keeps being friendly and is open, but is just there, present with love, and in a calm way. It helps me and touches my seat. And I think, oh, that's so beautiful to see this person in his ways, even when, especially when I'm sad, and that I can express in beginning anew. Or we see the partner that he helps the old neighbor to do the shopping. You should not praise him like a little child, but when it has touched me, I can express that. I want to say what I want to say with that. We receive something from our partner and we thank him. We see something and we appreciate it. And the third, we see something which is not about us but about a third person, and we appreciate it. And that we can express too. Often it's about the children and not about the neighbors, but whatever. Whatever we can say, you are a wonderful father, or how you are as a mother. If you only talk about the big things, maybe in the beginning they come into our minds, but when we are there weekly, we really start to see the other person. It's not about thinking on Monday, what shall I tell him on Saturday, but to really see the other person. Then it comes from on its own. And to thank somebody has a really great effect. I want to give an example. I read about a woman who talked about her childhood. There was a lot of quarreling in the family, but it was mostly the father. He was very aggressive, not in a physical way, but verbally very aggressive, complained a lot. I don't know if he was an alcoholic person, but it was verbal abuse. And mother and children weren't sad when he wasn't at home. They didn't get along well. And one day they sat at the table eating, and the father was complaining always, well, this food is not good and I don't like that food and the potatoes are too cold. But this time the father didn't say anything. And in the end he said, thank you. Nobody answered. He thanked his woman for cooking, and then he went out of the room. And he repeated that, only while eating, then by other things, then also thanking his children. And but they didn't react in the beginning, but after a while, maybe his father said other things too. But the great difference to become a happy family again, and the cause was that the father was able to thank them. And thankfulness And I know that from my own life. Thankfulness can do a lot, can really do a lot. The second point is that we apologize when we have said or done something which was not really nice. And it's not about the big things, the big hurts. It's about small things done without love. I'm sorry, the day before yesterday I didn't listen to you carefully. I realized that you wanted to talk to me and it was important to you. And I said, oh, I have to call my friend at 8 o'clock, I'm off. I could have made my friend wait, or can you wait, I will talk to you later. And I know that you were disappointed, you wanted to share something that was important to you, and you are important to me, and it would have been important to me to listen to you. Not only, oh, sorry, this is not a real excuse, and we can do a lot with it. Oh, sorry, oh, I'm so sorry. So, like I said, really say something about it, some sentences. And when we apologize, it shouldn't be, oh, I'm sorry, but, oh, I'm sorry, but I had to have this phone call. This is not an apology. This is not about apologizing. It's about justifying. And then you say, "Oh, the other thing was more important to me." The but is always there's some other thing is more important. So really express your sorrow and your grief about not acting like you wanted to. And Tai always pointed out, and I want to do the same, when we apologize, it might occur that the other answers with reproaches. Normally, when we apologize, 90% are accepted, but sometimes people start complaining. Another example. When I was in Plum Village, and I kept it for a long time, a woman lawyer, told me that she was at court with another lawyer. So they were opponents to each other. So they were in different law firms. And she said this lawyer, this male lawyer, was really not nice, not pleasant. And they really, the friends knew this person, and they were really sorry for her because he was very critical, very bitter. They had sharp words used. And she went to a retreat in Vermont. She was American, and on the way back, and Tai had talking about reunion, and she said she's at peace with all people but him. So she decided to call this person, this lawyer, and to talk to him. And she did. And she was shy in the beginning. Can he accept this, or will I have sharp answers back? And she called him, And he was open, he accepted her words, and she felt relieved. And then a lot of complaints were coming. And she said she was close to putting down the phone. Nobody can talk to him, and I don't need that, and I can't that either. But then she thought, oh, he talks about his suffering. He simply tells me what he is suffering from. And then she started to listen without fighting back. When he said, you have done this and that, she simply listened. And at the end of the phone call, she said, thank you that you trusted me in listening to this. And that was the end. And the next time she saw him, this man was completely different. He was friendly and helpful, and he was a good colleague and helped her when she wanted to find a new job, I talk about this because it's about what the other does. He talks about his own suffering, and if we can look at this, that is not as aggression against us, but we see he is talking or she is talking about his or her suffering, and we can start to listen. It's the third point of beginning anew. If I have difficulties with what the other person has done when he hurt me or she hurt me, I can say this in beginning anew. Finally, we have to talk about our difficulties. We have to have the possibility. And when we just start saying something, it might end in fighting again. So you have to start with the first person singular. I have, not you have. When I say you have, I start fighting again. When I got to know new beginning, I started to exercise that. And I said, I am hurt. I tried it twice, and twice my partners they exploded. So I thought, no, I will not do beginning anew again. I was really peaceful, but bitte don't do this. The other listens to this and thinks it's a reproach. So I started to listen better to Tai, what we should say. Tai says, darling, I'm suffering, please help me. And nobody can get hurt when we say it in this way. And when we say it like this, we don't touch aggression within ourselves nor with the other person. We have to overcome our pride to say this. And it's important. We can't always say to every person, darling, I'm suffering, please help me. And I'm living together with sisters and brothers, and I don't want to ask it from them. Sometimes I write a letter. Dear sister, dear brother, first the positive, I'm glad. I say what I appreciate about them. And then I say, I see the part in what has happened, and I accept that I'm part of this. Not only, oh yeah, yes, I did something, but I really look at it and say, yes, I have done something. And then bitte explain your part and your reaction. I don't understand it. Please explain it to me. It's more neutral than, darling, help me. I don't understand. Bitte explain it to me. It's more neutral than I suffer, please help me. And it works. It always has a positive effect. So this part of me which is suffering stays within me, but I choose different words. Also couples could use this more neutral version. Now the fourth point of beginning anew. And it is not part of every beginning anew. It's for extraordinary situations. Maybe, let's say, we are in a extreme stress because we have to do some exams, or the mother's at hospital. So things that put us under pressure a lot. And if we are fighting additionally, it becomes worse. If we say to the partner, you know that I have this thing to do, this task. Please, can you support me? If we are fighting throughout that time, I can't stand it. It's intolerable. So if I do something to hurt you, please realize that I really am under stress. So we can talk about it later, but please not during the time. I know that I ask a lot of you, which isn't easy for you, but I do it. I don't want damage our relationship if we fight throughout the time. It will only put pressure on both of us. Please support me and understand that I'm not at my best in the moment. And maybe it could occur that I'm not careful enough. And the person then knows, the mother is sick. Something the other person has, the other partner knows, but to express it, to say, please don't put more pressure on the pressure I have for that time. And that is the fourth part of the beginning. This is for, we say, not more than 2 weeks. So not every stress is like that. If I'm a kind of a workaholic and I put the family away all the time, this doesn't help. But for a shorter period, for 2 weeks, it's good to, it's possible. There are couples who do this beginning anew once a week. Some do beginning anew more rarely, but there are also couples who do the beginning anew every evening. They sit down and ask, how was our day? And I talk about what was nice, what was not good, not beautiful. If they always follow the point 1 to point 3 or 4, but they definitely put water on the seeds and express where they are suffering, but they use, in a way, they use the 3 points. Maybe they have added something. If we fight on Monday, we shouldn't wait till Saturday to talk about this. Beginning anew should be there every week or every 2 weeks, no matter what happens. So when I have a fight on Monday, so we already have reconciliated and talked about it, but maybe we want to talk about it on Saturday again to look at it. Or we couldn't make out, but we know the beginning anew is close and we don't have to fight because we know because the next day we will talk to each other. So if I open my mouth now, maybe we are starting to fight again, and if we will know that we will talk tomorrow. But if we talk every week, we get used to talking throughout the week too. So I don't have to express everything, and I don't have to eat everything, but we can talk about it in a peaceful way. And I know I can calm down today because I know we will talk tomorrow, and everybody has to decide for themselves how often they want to do it. And it's always important that we start anew with ourselves, and that we are thankful to ourselves and forgive ourselves, and also can say maybe we have hurt ourselves or have asked too much of ourselves. Thank you.